Alright, I had to check the sound. I didn't know where it was coming from. I think it's being recorded on the phone. I don't know. It might be being picked up on my microphone here. I don't know. But I wanted to talk to you about something that I just came up with today. I came up with the analogy of worms coming out when it rains, and you know how they don't come out when it's not raining, and how they actually stick around when it stops raining because it's still wet. But then they die, right? Because they can't go back in the dirt, or they stay and they dry, right? That's why I came up with this analogy. So, he told me that it's important to remember those that were there before and after I made my fortunes or make my fortunes. And I told him, no, it's not, because when I was in the tattoo shop, there was people that didn't believe me. There was people that knew I was tattooing but chose to go to tattoo shops instead, you know, and didn't really support me when I needed them. So I used the analogy of worms, where I was up on top of the ground while the worms all stayed in the ground when it was wet underground and moist underground. I came out when it was hot, and I asked those worms to come out and support me, and they didn't believe me. They stayed underground. I told them that it wasn't going to stay hot all the time, that I was going to make it wet, that it was going to rain. And they didn't believe me. But then when I made it rain, making it in the tattoo shop in this instance, I made it to the tattoo shop, made it rain. All the people that were above ground with me before I made it rain, those are the ones who matter to me. And I'm gonna tell you right now, maybe 2 or 3, and the tattooing thing. I'm pursuing rap now. There's no worms out here with me. All the worms are kind of peeking out a little bit, just seeing if I'm still doing it, or kind of keeping their toes still in the dirt. Nobody's out here with me. Not with this rapping shit, but with the tattooing shit. All the worms came out, coming to the tattoo shop. People that I didn't even know how they had my fucking phone number. You didn't even have my phone number, but knew how I fucking shop I worked at. None of this shit made sense to me. And even though everything inside of me going up in the rap career, I was like, fuck these motherfuckers. When I go in the tattoo shop, I'm gonna throw a goddamn tattoo machine at these pricks coming in here. But when they did come in there, I didn't do that. You grow up, you know. It's like you grow up, you know. Some inside you just lets you know that they're just wasn't smart enough to know better, you know. Oops. Anyways, you know, they didn't get tattooed by me. Nobody. Anyways, I was just telling them the importance of not selling out and shit like that. That's how we got on this topic. But the worms, man, they came out. And then when I was in between tattoo shops, because I got canned from the first one, I was in between. Those worms stayed out. The worms that weren't underground, because they saw that I could make it wet again. So they were willing to stay out while it was still moist. And some of them, you know, died in the heat. You know, couldn't wait no more. Either died in the heat or went back in the dirt. They died in the heat with me, you know. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. But look, man, I do know what I'm talking about with this new analogy I created. And I told him that the worms will always come out when you make it rain, and stay out with the belief that it's going to rain again. That's because they have already seen. But it's those that have come out with you before you've ever made it rain, that have never really seen you do it, and believe in you, and stay out there and endure with you and support you. Those are the ones that matter before you even make anything happen. Those are the ones that matter. And if there's no one, doesn't mean no one matters. It just means you're probably surrounded by a lot of fucking people that have been deprived of their dreams. This is part of it to me. Being right here, you know, being able to be in my motherfucking office / recording studio, my library, my desk, my encyclopedia. Anyways, if you take anything from this video, it's only 5 fucking minutes. I guess I'm probably not gonna cut it. I'm just gonna leave it as is. But if you get anything from this fucking video, just remember one thing. It's not about who's there when you lose it all. It's about who's there when you fucking start it before you even got any of it. That's what matters. People that were there before you even started. Who believed in you before you started? Not the worms that came out after it rained. I'm talking about the worms that were out there enduring the heat with you and had faith that you were going to make it wet. Not the ones that came out already, saw that you made it wet for them, and hung around because they believe you could make it wet again. Fuck them. You know, fuck them. It's all about who's there with you when you didn't even have shit. Because there will always be someone there after, lingering after you lost shit. And then you're never, hopefully, around long enough to see if they stuck around. Because you've already made it better because you've got your taste of that. So you make it better. And then they're like, see, I knew he'd make it better, and they stuck around. But if you don't make it better and nothing happens again, let's see how long those fucking worms stick around before they say, are you going to make it wet again or not? Then you answer them, why does it matter? Do you only give a fuck when it's wet? Fucking worm. Stay out here and dry in the sun and die. Because I'm going to make it wet again and I endure the heat. I don't stand out here in the sun and die. You do. You ain't got no faith. But I stand out here. I dig my trenches. I dig my trenches anticipating water to be filling them in the dry heat. People look at me like I'm crazy, digging in the sun. But you're going to be the one that's fucking thirsty when you're holding out your hand. Because you didn't dig nothing. You weren't prepared to catch the rain. While I'm digging my trenches, I'm prepared to catch that fucking rain. And right now I'm filling up these notepads. You looking at me like I'm crazy shoveling in the desert? Well, hey, guess what? I believe in me. And I don't give a fuck who's with me. Because there ain't nobody with me with this rap shit. Just that cat. Nobody believes this shit. It's all just false. Same thing before I went to tattoo shop. You'll make it. They'll say it because they kind of think I might, but they don't really know if I will. Fuck them. Nobody's here. I'm going to remember that. But I'm not going to despise nobody because my mission is to help. I'm going to help motherfuckers, but I'm going to remind them. You spread the word. Don't shatter nobody's fucking dreams. Who are you to tell somebody they can't do something just because you don't do something? So that's how I'm going to kill these motherfucking worms. I'm going to tell them, look, I'm going to help you, but you're a fucking worm. And you didn't help me. So for your fucking punishment, for your moral punishment, care if you do it or not. But you should now feel obligated to run around and preach the truth. Preach what you seen. And preach not to doubt nobody. Even if you can't see it. Who the fuck are you? Fucking dream shatterer. Fucking no dreaming, no faith having ass. Fucking worm. Stay in the dirt then, bitch.